Hello, this is Kim Davis, and this is my Unit 4 screencast. My observation location is 0.8 of a mile north of the Chena Hot Springs Road and Old Steese Highway North intersection. The National Weather Service data observation location is at the Fairbanks International Airport. My observation dates were from January 30, 2018 through February 3, 2018. My observation times were between 4 o'clock in the afternoon and 4:40 on a daily basis. I entered my weather observation data into the Unit 4 spreadsheet so that I could compare it with the National Weather Service for the week. Just to reiterate on what my weather did for the week is I actually started my observations on January 30th, and it was around 7 below. The next day on the 1st, it was maintained around 7 below during the warmer times, and then dropped to like 11 below. Then on the 1st of February, it dropped considerably, and then on the 2nd of February, it increased a little bit, and the 3rd of February, it warmed up even more. I had about a 20-degree fluctuation in temperature during this time. My barometric pressure was 30.2, or the 1,023 millibars. Again, I was still a little worried that my barometer isn't working correctly, but I'm thinking maybe my eyes are just not as good as they used to be, and it's hard to see the slight changes on the barometer itself. Moving on to the T-graph, you can see that my weather fluctuations outside of the 31st seem to be right there with the National Weather Service out at the airport, dipping down on the 1st and then having a general or a gradual incline over the next day. The P-graph showed the barometric pressure, and mine, I can't even compare it to the National Weather Service's because it was a straight line for me. The relative humidity graph by the National Weather Service is right here. During this week, I had nothing but clear days. There was no observed precipitation. On January 30th, 2018, there is noted a low-pressure system butting up against the southern portion of the state, and towards the northern portion, actually past the northern portion, there's a high-pressure system. The high-pressure system leads to clear skies, which is seen in the Fairbanks area, and the lower pressure system is that of more associated with clouds and precipitation, as you can see on the southern portion of the state. So we had clear skies and no precipitation on January 30th. On January 1st, 2018, the lower pressure system was still here on the southern portion of Alaska, and as you can see that you've got that look of precipitation along the southern area, and you still have your high pressure systems relatively close to Alaska. Again, in the Fairbanks area, clear skies and no precipitation. On Thursday, February 1st, the high pressure system seemed to jump out a little bit more, and the low pressure system moved towards the south. In the Fairbanks area, you still have the clear skies. It did dip down a little bit colder. It was about 15 below and then 20 below it was the minimum temperature. On Friday, the high pressure system is still around. The low pressure system is still hanging on down here in Alaska, in the Fairbanks area, possibly right there. I'm still going to go for the clear skies because it was still very clear when I took my readings on Friday, February 2nd. There's still the high pressure systems around the area. There was a slight increase in temperature. The low was -19 and the high was right about 7 to 8 below that day. Saturday, February 3rd, the temperature increased to a minimum of 14 below and a max of -3 below. So there was a good jump in temperature that day. Again, the sky was clear. There was no noticeable precipitation. You can see that the low pressure systems has moved out and the high pressure system is moving over here to the east, and in the Fairbanks area it appears to still have the clear skies that was noted. On this slide here, it shows 4 different satellite images of Alaska and the surrounding area. In the first slide, it shows our low pressure system and our high pressure system and the associated clouds with the lower pressure system and the clearness of the higher pressure system up towards the north. In the second slide, right here, this is the visible satellite image, and this is the one that records the reflected sunlight from the clouds and from the earth. And if we were like hanging out in space, this would be the image that we would see. On this map right here, oops, I didn't mean to move it, but I did. This is the infrared map, and this one shows the heat that is emitted from the earth, showing the warmer regions which emit more heat are darker, and the lighter regions that do not emit as much heat are lighter. So you're looking at some warm areas where the darker images are on the map. As for the last one, this is our water vapor image, and the blue is wetter and more water vapor environments on this map where there's more water vapor around. When you go to the white area, this is the area where there is intermittent regions of water vapor, and the dry regions having less water vapor are the darker regions here on this map. That's it for my Unit 4 screencast. Have a great week.